What are we even talking about?
We're talking about going to Germany, going to Munster. Wanted to recall how unique that was, you know.
What place did you get in these?
This one I got first place. And then the following year I got first place.
2 in a row. This is why we're speaking about it.
Yes.
This guy right here, back to back. Back to back. Do you understand that?
The Munster contest was just like, it was Woodstock for skateboarding.
All of Europe is camping out for this thing. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Because they knew every pro that they loved, like, you know, never get to see in their home country. So the whole town was just overrun with skaters. Everyone came to be at that spot at that one moment.
I believe the first one we went to, we were on a tour in Europe, Cab, Gons, and I went. I think they always were slated as the World Championships.
You grew up seeing, like, you know, NBA games or football, baseball games, you see these stadium full of people. All the skate contests were super niche, I guess, you know? Skateboarding was just its little thing, so somehow going to Munster was like a literal stadium full of people. A number of kids stay home and make an Ed Templeton shirt was crazy. Just, you can see, yeah, like, I mean, the stadiums are filled. I mean, to Titus's credit, they like opened up a second hall and let kids camp in there. Kids would always be milling about at the hotel. Guys would start throwing product down and creating these like mosh pits of product tosses out the window. So yeah, I mean, the scene was just incredible.
It's 1995, and it says Europe on the front. Ed, Feebling, and then Cardiel. Pretty cool, you can see some of the chandeliers up there. I actually wanted to go back there by myself. Wanted to recall how unique that was, you know.
Back-to-back world champ. I wanted back-to-back so bad, I was super jealous of you.
Knowing Johannes from Pocket, I thought, whoa, I should talk to him about this. Where are we now? We are at Holland Münsterland. Wow, it's been 26 years? 27? I haven't been here since 1998. So the vert ramp was probably there, and then the street course would just be here.
The Eagle has landed.
I initially thought, this doesn't feel natural to create a run. It happened to me in Vancouver in the middle of my run. I thought, I'm just gonna do tricks. A run, almost embarrassing, you know? You do the same run again the next day, I'm like, this is not natural. They call my name, I'm just like, I'm gonna skate good. And in 10 seconds you fall and it's like 50 seconds. That was strange. I remember looking around thinking, why did I let Ed turn me pro? I shouldn't be here, you know? I struggled with that, and I remember going to Tampa. That's when Ed started saying, you know, oh, well, let's think about your run. I'm pretty sure at like a Denny's restaurant, he took the menu paper and he starts drawing the course.
Yeah, I would draw the course out and sit there, because like you drill, like, you know, there's like 2 days of practice ahead of time. And so, yeah, that night before it would just be like staring at the ceiling at night, thinking of my run.
I remember taking your advice and finding tricks I like and drawing a line, and that was my run. I learned from that, and by the time I got to this competition, I was calm enough to figure out, okay, what would be a fun line? Oh, and I started to get into it.
I always thought it was just so fun. I don't know, the idea of just like, you got 90 seconds or whatever to like try to hit everything. And I trip out watching the contest now where it's just like, best trick, it's just like huck yourself down the stairs 50 times. And the art of like aiding an actual course and like hitting all the obstacles, you know, watching like Chris Sen skate a course is just like mind blowing, you know?
So here would be Smith grind, ollie the pyramid, 5-0 the ledge, I push and feeble, and then go up the flat bank and pop off onto the deck, kickflip in, go up the pyramid, ollie tail slide to fakie, and then I push over, kick up my board, roll in, ollie that pyramid, and pump to get the backside tail slide on the flat bar. Then I pump down and do a 360 flip to fakie. And that was it. That was a strange feeling to roll away at the end and know that 1 minute was over and I did not fall. And a lot of my friends are like, no, man, you won. I'm like, nah, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 3rd place. Did you see Arto's run? And I was so new to being a professional skateboarder. I thought I was too new to win. They started reading off the names, and when 2nd place was not my name, it was totally overwhelming after growing up and seeing this stadium in magazines in the 80s when I was a kid. Now I'm here and I'm winning. It was totally unreal. It's funny, this morning I thought, what if I bailed that tray flip? If I bailed that tray flip at the end on the flat bank, I would have not got first.
Arto war nur einen Punkt dahinter. Arto was only 1 point behind. Right here.
But I'm sure you beat me many times after that, Arto. There's one in practice where I land and wiggle. Was really scared to Smith grind the rail into the ramp. I was looking at it with Lance in the beginning. It was off of the vert ramp into a bank, and then there was a pyramid.
Yeah, I remember it. You step up and you had to climb up.
Maybe the first day of practice.
Lance board slid.
Yeah, yeah. I commend
On
that.
the skateboards.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
The Highland Münster land was good for a long time, but then it got really small because skateboarding just got big. So they needed to get a big place, and this is perfect.
So it was this hall.
It was this hall?
Oof. My God. I don't remember the size, really. It's very big to see now. I just feel really lucky. This was a place we came to be in a skateboard contest. Feeble that rail. I think it was a round rail, but yeah, this is so funny that this is here. So the rail that was at the contest in '99 was a very similar setup and not intended for the street course. But when I saw it, I thought, great, cool. It's a very skatable rail. Yeah, then other people started skating it. We saw Mike Maldonado do the lip slide and then blunt slide. I'm so psyched, dude. You know what it is? I want to skate. That's what's happening. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to skate, which is great.
This is 1999. Watch out for Sheffy.
Fred was on Sheffy's way. Sheffy got pissed, threw him off from the top of the pyramid.
Steve was scary at that time. He's a sweetheart now. So yeah, this must be it. I actually remember my run from this one too. Rolled in, impossible 50-50 on that, but then I lip slid off that ramp across this rail. Picked up my board, rode across this platform, front blunt that ledge over the pit. Then I would drop in, impossible tail grab over that, straight to a nose grind across that. And then I think that was it. In the semifinals that I qualified second for, I pulled a whole run, a bit sketchy though, and qualified third. For the final, B.A. did the best run I've ever seen.
I was just happy that I was able to do that run again. Everything I tried was really hard for me to do, so I was happy to land all of it. I did a backside tail slide on a bar. I tail slid the pyramid box. I did a kickflip to fakie on a bank, a switch nose grind, feeble grind down the rail, kickflip wall ride, and then a blunt slide to fakie.
After landing the blunt slide to fakie, I thought I might have just won again. And then, yeah, when my friends started throwing their boards and hugging me, I was probably like, yeah, cool, maybe, I don't know, let's relax, let's calm down.
Pretty amazing. Brian Anderson, I think he pulled it off again. You know, it's only been here twice. He did it both times. I'm speechless.
Do you think there's like one move that put you over the top always in those events?
Yeah, maybe the kickflip wall ride.
That's what I was going to say. When you said it, I was like, it was a kickflip wall ride, the new thing?
That's kind of a gamble.
Can you pull a kickflip wall ride? No one was doing that at that point anyway, but I would imagine it was like less than 50-50 even. Like, I don't know if you're making all of them, you know?
It was kind of like the least expected trick
Yeah.
to see a wall ride trick. But then again, a kickflip wall ride was kind of like, oh dear, that's a win right there.
You made that one, and I just remember thinking, that's it. Back to back, right there.
This guy right here, back to back. Back to back. Do you understand that?
Back to back.
Yeah,
Back to back is a badass fact. Brian got first place for the second year in a row, back-to-back Munsters. McCrank got second, Reynolds third, and Arto got fifth. The top five was all good friends. I'm honored to be in that lineup.
I loved the way Ed skated because he was a raw, powerful street skater. So to have this guy that I looked up to, he always said, as a pro skater, just try to do the best demo you can, sign every autograph, and if you're injured, don't skate, and just try to be cool to the kids. Kind of suggested how to move through life in that regard.
Drawing of B.A. right there. Side profile.
But it was really, really special. Ed Templeton was our leader.
Crazy, huh?
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I shot that Colin as well. Actually, this is me right there, shooting the fisheye sequence.
It's a little roll down memory lane.
A lot of people point that out nowadays when they look at the courses. From nowadays looking, this was no street course.
Yeah,
this
no.
was a hefty obstacle course.
Yeah.
You know? But
Yeah.
it still produced some awesome tricks.
I thought, well, I got to try and at least get up there. And then once you build the confidence, you can get up there. It really did push people because we've been watching some of the old contests and you see the progression. Ed Templeton does an ollie 1-foot board slide. I don't know what year. Yeah, on the double coping little rail. And he also does a 180 nose grind and then click to 99. And Ed does a beast strong ollie 180 nose grind down the hubba. And it's gnarly.
Like the era was changing. I remember nose grinding the rail was like the kids in the crowd were going crazy for that.
You see it when you start watching them in a row. I was lucky to skate some ramps growing up and maybe do a backside disaster, you know, a lip slide, because that's certainly not a street course.
No, they're obstacle courses. They never gave a street contest to street skaters.
A schoolyard recreated.
Yeah, or even at a schoolyard. Does Guy Mariano have been in a street contest? Has Cream Camel been in a street contest? What Deerdick did with Street League, he was the first to go, I'm going to take what these kind of guys do and make a contest. And instead of skateboarding going, okay, that's good, and then we're going to do another one and do another, they all, oh, that's what we do. Oh, no, that's what we do. So many options in skateboarding that we don't really know how to build that. The placing never really mattered. It was a way to advertise what within the industry thought was the best, to showcase that out to the public, and then the kids get to decide what they like.
It's a big dream of all skaters to come to Europe, bring all skaters together to have a good time, and that's really what skateboarding's about, is having fun with your friends, so we're happy to be here.
And slowly but surely it's been pushed more to being like, we're trying to find out who's the best in the world. And I don't think the contests were ever really designed to do that. That is creating spectators rather than people doing it. There was a divide in contest and top street skating. And someone like Ed, Mike V, these guys knew how to do both. The next group of guys were very progressive technically, and they didn't really know how to showcase that in street. So it was like these two worlds coming along. From my perception, Ed had brought these two new dudes in, matured skateboarders, that were the crossover of where it's going to go. The finesse of this brand new technical stuff with the power and the approach of past. Donnie is like the new Eric Dressen, and you were like the next version of a Ben Schroeder. But you were skating with this finesse of a Ray Barbie or something. And skateboarding needed that, because otherwise it could have gone in those other directions farther away quicker.
I just started thinking about it more in the last year, how unique and incredible it is, and that's why I wanted to come back. Revisiting this place where I experienced a life-changing contest, and then I realized as I was revisiting everything what it led me to. Now that I think about it, you know, that gave me Skater of the Year, and other video parts on top of that, you know. And man, was that surreal. Yes, it was a different time, but that doesn't mean it was so cool, such a golden era that, oh, you missed out. A person from each era will call their era the golden era for them, you know. Maybe it inspires people seeing this old footage and the crowd and the excitement and the enthusiasm. It's just so cool seeing something live. That energy is far bigger than anything you'll ever find on a screen, in my opinion. In skateboarding, like Copenhagen and Tampa. Brian Schaefer always says that at Tampa. If you don't know your neighbor, shake their hand and introduce yourself. You might make a new friend for life. You want to be in the middle, Elissa?
No, I want Ed in the middle.
Oh, I love that.
This photo of B.A. is very key to your story of Brian. Brian Anderson finally able to relax after becoming world champion for the second time in a row. So much pressure, stress, interviews, and autograph seekers behind him now. yeah, and then you're living this other life in a way, or secret life.